good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I got us coffee. I got us coffee from our favorite place in South San Francisco, Antigua.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing Kate today. She brings so much energy to Leadership Council when she comes to our program days. It's really going to be good to spend some time with her today, just talking about what she does in the FLY program.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to learning more about the FLY program and hearing about the kids that she serves.
I did a bit of extra research, so I'm going to give you a quiz because I'll bet you don't. I certainly didn't know the answers to this. Do you know how many kids are incarcerated in the United States every year, according to the UN?
I don't. 50,000?
75,000. We have more incarcerated youth going through the justice system than any other country in the world. And amazingly, California has more kids in the juvenile detention system than any other state. Fresh Lifelines for Youth works with kids between the ages of 11 to 25. They're really looking for building a community where kids are valued and supported, and they're disrupting the pipeline from schools to prison, and it's replaced with really meaningful opportunities for kids to live a healthy, free, and productive life. So Kate is the director for both San Francisco and San Mateo County, so she's got a big job. We obviously get some of our class participants as they come, they speak, they're experts in their field, and then they learn about the work we're doing with our senior leaders and connecting them around the county, and they want to be part of it. So Kate's a great example of that.
I must say I'm constantly humbled by the people who are in our classes.
Hey, thanks for having us.
So great to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you as well.
Hi,
Thank
thank
you
you
for
for
having us. Great. Interview. We are so excited to be at FLY, which is Fresh Lifelines for Youth, and to be here in your office in Redwood City. And you really work to partner with youth to provide opportunities to disrupt the pipeline to prison and to really promote justice both in California.
And I've been with FLY for not quite 4 years. And we work with young people really to change the outcomes. We know that there is this pipeline to prison where the set of systems are not designed for certain kinds of young people to really succeed. Youth of color, immigrant youth, youth with disabilities, those are often the youth that are sort of systematically excluded from these systems or pushed out of these systems and end up later on involved in the justice system. And so we're really here to change those outcomes, both individually and then systemically by doing advocacy work.
That's right. And you're serving more than 2,000 youth a year just in this, in terms of your regional area.
Yeah, in the Bay Area, we serve about 2,000 youth. Our goal is actually to get to serving 10,000 youth through also our advocacy efforts, changing policies, changing the way that we work across the state, and then also providing technical assistance in the communities where we don't have actually a footprint, but can work with other organizations to provide similar sorts of services.
So you talk about the pipeline to prison.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Define that. What does that mean, and what does it look like to disrupt it?
Yeah, definitely. So we really rely a lot on the work of Tia Martinez, who's done a lot to document the whole pipeline. And really it is something that it's intergenerational, but it really starts in communities that have been under-resourced, over-policed, where there's already a lot of trauma that has happened, a lot of folks who are already incarcerated. And that sets young people up in such a way that when they come into the schooling system, they're already not feeling welcome, not feeling like it's really the right place for them. And then that continues on. It increases the risk for a young person of becoming involved in the justice system as an adult. And I think a lot of it for us is just helping them see that it is possible, and saying, no, we think that you're great. We think that there's a lot of potential for you, and helping them see that for themselves and pursue it.
Yeah, and increasing the number of caring adults in their life.
Exactly. Right. Thinking through situations they might come into contact with police, or they may, want to make a choice about what the risks are. And oftentimes young people just don't know, hey, gang affiliation can cause more negative outcomes for me. Even if I wasn't the one that did something, just being affiliated with folks who are involved can be a problem. Or, we talk about accomplice liability. You were just around, and you can still be held just as accountable as the person who actually did something. So we talk them through those things and help them think through what those decisions might be in various situations. We do social emotional learning at the same time, so they can really build those skills and really help them think about how they want to make change both individually but also in their communities and see themselves as leaders in that way.
When you talk about diversion,
Yes.
you were saying it's at the point when they are
Arrested or suspended. So we're
Okay.
also working with the school at the point of suspension, recognizing that young people who are facing these situations, really, the typical punitive systems don't tend to address the underlying issues very well. It's a lot of, we see suspension for truancy, which is sort of an ironic thing to do, saying you're not coming to school and now we're not going to let you come to school.
We were thrilled that you came and spoke to our class last year, Leadership Core class of 2022. And we heard just recently that 2 members of that class became supporters of PurePoint. Can you share more about that? Because that was the first we learned of it.
Yes, absolutely. So Kate Wilson, who is, I believe, the executive director of the Gilead Foundation, and Karen Huber-Levy, who is one of our juvenile justice and delinquency prevention commissioners in this county, met last year in Leadership Core. And Karen was working on PurePoint at the time. It was a project that was started by commissioners to have this diversion program in San Mateo County. But the goal is eventually to be able to provide equitable diversion across the whole county. The point of PurePoint is to really think about what is going on with this young person, to say, what are the ways that we can support them and what are the accountabilities that they can take on in order to change their trajectory.
You reminded me that I got to see you speak at the San Mateo Foster City School District a few
Yes.
weeks ago, and you shared a phrase that has really stuck with me, and now with Kaarin. You said that behavior is the language of needs.
Yes.
Can you share more about what that looks like? What do these youth need, and how do you know that they're really calling out for something?
That there aren't bad kids, right? The young people are not inherently bad. So that if something has gone wrong, if a crime has been committed, if harm has been done, that the reason behind it has something to do with a need that's not met. And that often has to do with the resources in the community and the ways that we invest in communities. So we really look at what can we do to change those underlying situations and to address those underlying needs so that that isn't the way that young people can move forward.
Well, it's stuck with us so much that, as you know, we mentioned it to you a couple times. It might be our first Leadership Council bumper sticker.
It helped me think of things differently as well, rather than sort of painting people as you are this, you are a drug dealer, it helps you move away from that to you're a person and you've done some things that are not great maybe, but that we as a whole community need to think about you as a whole person if we're going to do that.
Talk about the benefits to the community for a program like this. So it's quite clear the benefits to the youth, and I think it's obvious the benefits to the community, but it'd be great to hear you talk about that.
Yeah, thank you. It's very expensive to incarcerate a young person. On average in California, it's over $300,000 a year to incarcerate a single young person. I would say if you imagine that much money just going to the young person, we could pay for them to go to college many, many times over.
So I was looking at your showcase that you held at the end of last year, and it's an opportunity for you guys to really showcase the great work you're doing and a lot of the youth that you serve. And one of the panelists you had, Rose, is involved with the juvenile justice system in Santa Clara County. And I know you also work with the Juvenile Justice Commission in San Mateo County, and a big part of what you do is advocacy. So could you tell us a little bit about the advocacy work you're doing that really has pretty far-reaching impacts?
Yes, Rose is our youth voice coach. And the goal there is to support young people who are interested in sharing their stories and their experiences with those systems that impact them to make a difference, to make a change. But we should add that we're also doing, as a whole organization, doing statewide advocacy work. So young people have gone to the state capitol to speak on different bills.
You mentioned the leadership program that you run, and there's a peer leadership component of that.
Yes.
Can you share more about what that is and why it's important?
We have young people come through that program, and they can stay with that program for multiple years if they choose, and move into a role of being a peer mentor and be able to tell them, this is how we do things here, this is what Fly is about, and also this is how I moved through some of the same situations that you're moving through right now. And it really means something when someone has lived something that you have, for them to be able to give you support and encouragement and perspective on what you're experiencing, and to know that you're not alone in that is really important.
Obviously, we're Leadership Council San Mateo County, and one of our biggest goals, and really the reason that we founded this organization, was because we know what a special place San Mateo County is. One of our goals is to really bring together leaders across sectors, so leaders like yourself in the nonprofit space, leaders in business who are C-suite executives, senior vice presidents, and elected officials. And we put them in a core class, which you are a member of. And you're not only a member of the class, but you actually came and spoke to the class last year, and you've even stepped out of your class participant role this year and spoke to the class this year as well. So I would just, if you tell us a little bit about your experience in the program and what it means to you, both professionally and as an organization.
Your vision is really what appealed to me, that this idea of bringing together people who are in this very unique community. And I've been really pleased to get to meet all of the amazing leaders that are in my class, and just have really deep connections around how we want to see the future of San Mateo County unfold together.
Can you share, what do you need? What do you most need? And how can people support you in general?
Oftentimes what I need is more of the community to be aware and care about the positive outcomes for our young people, because I think it's easy. The quick answer is, let's just punish them and move on. And that doesn't actually address the underlying issues, as we've talked about. So that's a big piece of it. We're also a nonprofit, so I'll always say that we always need resources. Yeah, I think those are probably the two biggest.
Okay, so now it's time for our speed round. A couple fun questions for you. What is your theme song?
I'm gonna have to go with Good as Hell by Lizzo.
Oh, nice. What word describes your purpose?
Equity.
Leadership is?
Creating opportunities for things that don't exist yet.
Fantastic. My superpower is?
Connecting people.
My superhero is?
Our young people.
Top quality a leader needs?
Curiosity and humility.
Well, we are so happy to have been here with you today, and thanks for taking the time to tell us more about Fresh Lifelines for Youth. We are constantly inspired by you and the program, and we're really happy to be able to tell a little bit of your story.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Well, that's exciting. We did it. That was our first meeting. We are really trying to highlight the incredible work that's being done in San Mateo County. And we're done. That's a wrap. And now we have to think of, it's our first one, so how are we going to sign out?
I think like this.
Yeah?